what do you think? Prima facie, do you believe that a law that excludes one religious minority or one religious group, but again, it's important to say this doesn't apply to Indian Muslims who are already citizens, is it unconstitutional?
Barkha, is a very vexed question. It may be unjust, but is it unconstitutional? To some it may seem unfair. We must remember that all the protection of the Constitution is available to all the citizens without any manner of doubt. But for non-citizens, the same principles may not apply. Article 14 of the Constitution does say equality of law to all persons. So that could be an argument in favor of those who say that it is unconstitutional. But Article 15, which specifically deals with discrimination on the grounds of race or religion, is only for the benefit of the citizens. See, here, please remember what this citizenship is. It a right, a constitutional right of any person to ask for Indian citizenship? They are foreigners. You see, they are foreigners. What you said rightly, they have been fast-tracked into being naturalized. Normally, it wouldn't take years on end. They may not get citizenship. So the government has chosen to get 6 communities coming only from Bangladesh, which is formerly East Pakistan, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. We must also remember the historical context that most of this area was part of, well, British India or the Indian, or the larger British. Some could argue even Myanmar was part at one time, but not so, the way India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and a large portion of Afghanistan were integrated into India. Then the other historical perspective, because I don't know what I would also decide without hearing arguments from both sides. But I can think of what the arguments from both sides are going to be. And one of the arguments which will be for those who support the act would be that historically, though India chose to remain a secular state, even if the word secular was not there in the preamble at that stage, I still believe it is a secular, even if we didn't have word secular in the preamble. Our whole, if we look at the rest of the preamble, it would be India remained a non-theist state, whereas the others definitely became religious states. And people chose to go there. Some people chose to stay here from the Muslim community also. They all got their rights. And they became Indian citizens. Now it is the question of those who are there, who are the minorities there. So in a sense, I don't know whether it could be held to be unconstitutional. I have my doubts whether it can be declared to be unconstitutional. Whether it's morally right or wrong, I'm not going to the question. You see, so as judges.
This is a very interesting formulation, that you may not like something or you may not relate to it, but that doesn't make it illegal or unconstitutional. So what I'm picking up from you is, personally, if you, Deepak Gupta, Indian citizen, may have preferred a more generous fast track that was more inclusive, but strictly applied on the legal question of constitutionality per se, you do not think it's unconstitutional?
I mean, again, it's a very, very prima facie view, but I don't think it's unconstitutional. See, you're giving something to somebody. You're not taking away anybody's rights. This is not the same as the NRC. Now we're talking about the CAA, which is to grant citizenship. See, tomorrow you can decide that maybe there's a diaspora of Indian origin which is being prosecuted or persecuted in some other part of the world. And you decide you want to give them citizenship. I don't think anybody can, even when you look at England, whether you look at USA, so many times when they decide how many people have to be given citizenship, they decide on the basis of religious background, if not religious, at least the cultural background, etc. And they decide what is the quota going to be for every different part of the world. Mm-hmm. This is a country sovereign right. whether Parliament is doing the right thing or wrong thing, because as courts, I've said this very often before, we don't decide what is right or wrong. We decide what is legal or illegal. We decide what is constitutional. And I am prima facie of the view that this amendment is not unconstitutional.